Hip-hop historian Evan Auerbach posed a mind-boggling question on Twitter to which the masses rushed in and made their arguments. What is the greatest 3-album hip-hop run of all time? It's a tough question to answer, especially when I went through my collection and realized that it's not as simple as 1, 2, 3. The guidelines, they must be 3 consecutive albums. They can't be mixtapes, extended plays, live versions, or greatest hits. I decided on a top 10 list and immediately regretted that choice because there are many factors that switched my order up to the final version of this script. How would I forego this decision? What artists would I have to cut? How do I determine what is worthy to be included? And how soon is too soon? I mean, it's way too soon to include Brockhampton's Saturation Trilogy, but I have to include it as an honorable mention because the boy band broke onto the rap scene in 2017 and shook the game, releasing 3 stellar albums in the span of just 6 months. Legendary status? Not yet. Though ask me in a few years and I may have to change my list. First up at the number 10 spot is Jay-Z with Reasonable Doubt, In My Lifetime Volume 1 and Volume 2 Hard Knock Life. Sean Carter released Reasonable Doubt at the beginning of his career as he spoke on street experiences in detailed ways that took the listener to a realistic setting while getting thoughts off the mind in the studio. It was a hustle that launched him to stardom off his next 2 projects. Next is his rival Nas at number 9, and his albums Illmatic, It Was Written, and I Am Nas. Illmatic is highly regarded as the greatest hip-hop album ever, and for good reason. Memorable beats and lyrically gifted talent was spread throughout the 10 tracks, each with a different story. It Was Written furthered the street biography, but with more pronounced pop reach. Ice Cube's America's Most Wanted, Death Certificate, and The Predator resides in the number 8 spot. America's Most Wanted is the debut album of Ice Cube after his split with NWA. The albums featured political commentary on racism in the United States and the judicial system, and proved Cube to be one of the most hardcore rappers with lyrics that packed a punch on the listener. Shakur rises up for number 7 with Me Against the World, All Eyes on Me, and Machiavelli the Don Illuminati. The gangsta influenced Tupac and his conscious mind made these 3 albums so great. When you can get dark and reflective on one album and switch it up on the next album with hit after hit, you know you're versatile, and that's who Pac was. He never shied away from who he was deep down, but also never let anyone get in his way. His spiritual successor, Kendrick Lamar, comes in at the 6th spot, releasing the modern classics Section 80, Good Kid, Mad City, and To Pimp a Butterfly. Section 80 was the debut album from Kendrick, where he was still one of the promising young stars. He rose to stardom with Good Kid, Mad City as the motion picture that took us through Lamar's life in Compton. And To Pimp a Butterfly was a magnum opus that incorporated political and personal themes through introspective lyrics on the culture and country in the current times as Tupac did 20 years prior. Dr. Dre gets a nod at the 5th spot for The Chronic, 2001, and Compton. Not only did he make beats, but he was instrumental in the success of those featured on his projects like Snoop Dogg and Eminem. Even after 16 years waiting for Detox, which by the way still has not yet come out, he blessed us with a soundtrack for Straight Outta Compton. Dre gave us songs that are rooted in pop culture and names of artists we wouldn't have without his genius. At number 4, we have Kanye with The College Dropout, Late Registration, and Graduation, the trilogy of rap albums that saw Kanye's innovation in creativity and stylistic individuality. Eminem lands the 3rd spot with his Slim Shady LP, Marshall Mathers LP, and The Eminem Show. With each album, there was a different persona and made Eminem the highest-selling hip-hop artist who gained respect from legends, hip-hop heads, and introduced a genre to newcomers all over the world. Coming in at number 2 is A Tribe Called Quest with their legendary albums, People's Instinctive Travels and the Paths of Rhythm, The Low End Theory, and Midnight Marauders. You know if you watched any of my other segments that I absolutely love when hip-hop fuses other genres, and no artist did it with such precision and poetic vocabulary like these pioneers of alternative jazz hop. They have influenced an array of artists, and with their platform, they carried a voice which empowered people from all walks of life. And the number 1 best hip-hop three-peat is handed to Outkast for AT Aquemini, and Stankonia. The duo of Andre 3000 and Big Boy may scream "Hey Ya" into your speakers at every party, but their presence in the late 90s to the early 2000s were the years where they shined brightest as some of the game's most consistent acts. They were fine with making radio hits to satisfy the mainstream and could also get lyrical and conscious when they needed to spread a message or reflect on the past. It's not every day that you get two stars who play such a vital role in bouncing ideas and rhymes off of each other with charisma and connectivity. They were two peas in a pod surely to cast a spell on you and make you apologize to every Miss Jackson you meet. For The Real Deal, I'm Robert Segovia.